This Brightline Construction update wraps up my coverage of the ATC19 cutover with a full flyover of the cutover limits after everything was complete, including some areas I have never filmed before. ATC19 activated about 8 miles of the new second main line and new signals between CP Bonaventure and CP Pineda. For a full explanation, check out the link above or in the description below. We'll start on the south end near Post Road, flying north towards CP Pineda. The track on the left here, to the south of CP Pineda, will be put into service in a future cutover. Here is CP Pineda. It is a universal crossover, allowing trains heading in both directions to change what track they are on. We'll continue north of CP Pineda around this curve. The new second main line is on the left here. On the right here is the industry siding for 84 lumber. It had received a new turnout earlier in the project, and it had a boxcar in the process of being unloaded when I flew past. North of 84 lumber is the Pineda Causeway overpass, which was opened in the past couple of years and a project that was planned before Brightline even existed. It is wide enough to accommodate full access to the right-of-way. North of the Pineda Causeway is the Pineda Team Track, which services one of the many concrete plants on the FEC. Materials for it are delivered by hopper car and unloaded by an excavator that runs along their top. You can see that excavator on top of the last car here. There was a signal crew completing some finishing touches here at the north end of the team track when I was flying. Both of these main lines are now at the same standard, capable of 110 mph passenger rail service. We are now crossing over Century Boulevard to where the Pineda South turnout had previously been located. The former Pineda siding track, which is now part of the new Western Main Line, had not changed other than receiving upgraded rail, so we'll move to the north end at the former Pineda North. This is where the Pineda North turnout had been located, and a track shift was completed to connect the new tracks. Remnants of the old turnout are piled on the left side of the right-of-way here, waiting to be salvaged. This is a new high-wide defect detector, which replaced a former single-track one at the same location. North of Vieira Boulevard is the new CP Vieira crossover. This is a single crossover that provides access to the newly extended Bonaventure siding from either main line headed north. The Bonaventure siding begins at this new number 10 turnout. As part of the siding's upgrades, it is now signalized on either end. In this area, the new second main line is on the right. The Bonaventure siding is currently used to service two separate lumber customers and a scrap metal customer. There are also a couple of out-of-business industries that are still connected to the siding should a future business want rail service. We are now crossing Anson Road. The Bonaventure siding is all new north of Anson Road, with the siding extended by about a mile. And this is Carver Street. And here is CP Bonaventure. Just like CP Vieira, the Bonaventure siding ends here, followed by a single crossover. All of the cantilever signals in this video are all new additions. North of CP Bonaventure, we'll have the new main line on the left activated in a future cutover. While it has some ballast in place, it still requires some tamping and regulating. We'll end our northbound journey here at Barnes Boulevard. Turning around, and we'll fly back south to CP Pineda, providing a different perspective. The siding on the left will be completed prior to the next cutover here. Until the new main line is completed to the north, this turnout in the crossover is locked to only allow movements through its diverging side over to the eastern main line. This lumber company's turnout had been shifted from being in the old main line to the newly extended siding. The fourth track on the right here is to access the scrap metal customer. This turnout is for one of the out-of-business industries. This lumber customer has a short siding, just long enough to unload a single center beam car. The final out-of-service industry siding is here, with its turnout partially disassembled. This cantilever signal protects the two main lines through CP Vieira. You can see where the new track was installed here, the old Pineda North turnout had been, with the old main line shifted to connect to the former siding track, and the new eastern main line now connected to the former main line through the siding. The old Pineda South turnout was in the process of being disassembled for salvage. These new intermediate signals are now in service just north of the Century Boulevard crossing. Before work completely concludes, a crew will come through the full ATC19 limits to replace some of the ties in the old mainline track. With ATC19 complete, all of the major work is now complete in the area I have flown over in this video. There are still minor tasks to complete before it's 100% finished, but for all intents and purposes of running trains, it is now done. Besides future videos of actual trains in action, this will be my last coverage of this specific area as part of a Brightline Construction update. South of the Post Road crossing is the now complete Horse Creek Bridge. Ties still need to be laid here for the new second main line. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also check out my social media pages.